What's up, everybody? Rob Ferretti here, and Tiara Brianna is with me as well. Podcast number 6. Welcome, and good to see you again, although I've seen you the entire last
all week.
14 days.
Yep.
We just got back, and you may remember we didn't post up last week. We had every intention of doing that, but it just didn't happen because we had a jam-packed week. Adventure Drives was running a private birthday party for a customer and friend, and we had a spectacular time.
An awesome trip.
It was if there is a better birthday out there, I'm sure there's some like Arab guy who like spends $50 million on gold-plated whatever quail eggs.
What?
But
no,
this was better.
This was it.
Like I can't imagine having a birthday that is better than this. The list of stuff that we did, the list of stories that we've gotten out of this, the stuff that went wrong, the stuff that went right is all just spectacular, and every single thing that happened made for an excellent story.
Oh yeah, I think we're really, really good at making the wrong right, like very fast. Like anything bad that had happened, we were putting out fires like ASAP, and kind of turning things around quickly.
Yeah, I mean, and that part of it's the companies that like it's the staff that we had working for us, and then the other rental company that we were working with. But also the other thing is the people. Yeah. There's people that are just out there to complain about stuff, and then there's people like, that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that just happened. Let's make the best of it. Like, I used to joke I needed a bumper sticker for my Ferrari that said, "In case of fire, marshmallows and glove box," and that is pretty telling as to the way you handle stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and conveniently enough, well, let's dive into it. Why don't you break down the week?
Oh, wow.
I was much closer to it than you were. Don't look at any itinerary or anything. You can do this.
I'm not looking at itinerary. I'm looking at photos.
Don't look at photos.
Oh my God, it was so long ago, it feels
from
like.
memory. So we're going back. First off, today we're drinking the Whistle Pig 10. Cheers to you.
Cheers to my awful memory. Where were we this week?
I feel it's so weird ordering Whistle Pig at like the fancy steakhouses and like looking at the bill and being like, Whistle Pig, wait. They sponsor me. Why am I paying for it?
Yeah,
but,
that was funny.
It's a good time.
I was like...
So it was awesome. I'll let you get into it and tell us a little bit about it. What was the first thing you did when you got there? So you landed in Vegas. I was there a day prior to you.
You were, yes. So a few of us got there. We were picked up at the airport. We shuttled over to the Cosmo.
Yep, Cosmopolitan Hotel.
Yes. Everyone checked in and... What, did we go to dinner the first night, all of us?
We went to Scarpetta for dinner.
Scarpetta, oh my gosh, my memory is so bad.
Scarpetta is an excellent Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
You can find them in New York, Miami at the Fontainebleau, and at least over in Las Vegas at the Cosmopolitan.
Mm-hmm. That was good. That was...
solid food.
I'm trying to remember.
Oh, you're blanking? You want me to do it? I can do it
totally
off the top of my head.
Can you really? Can you give me like... I know the following day.
You can watch her face as she relives the entire trip through my velvety voice. No. So first day we went to Scarpetta. You guys all came in. We went to Scarpetta. While you guys were flying in, I was busy picking up the cars. And then I went over to the birthday boy's house, who has a house in Vegas. He's building another one. But he was bringing one of his personal cars, which was a LaFerrari Aperta, which is a sick
That car is beautiful.
It was
my
gorgeous.
Gosh.
And it was fast. And you got to experience that. That's a video I'm not going to post. But it was we got to line up with it in one of the rental cars, which I'll give you the full rental lineup. The full rental lineup that we got from Diplomat Exotic Car Rentals in Las Vegas. Well, it was supposed to be the entire week. We lost an NSX and we lost an R8 Spider. Mm-hmm. And we lost a F8 Tributo Spider. And we lost a, what was the last one? Oh, a McLaren 600 LT.
Yeah.
So all these cars were supposed to be part of our rental fleet. But for one issue or another, a lot of it was just booking conflicts. But the one issue that they had with the McLaren 600 LT is
it's a McLaren.
It's a McLaren. And the water pump went. Therefore, they had to give us another car, and they gave us a 620R. 620R, McLaren 620R. And he's like, I can give you a 620R instead.
We're like,
and
what?
I was like, what's that? Now, I know cars, but I just can't keep up with all the different McLarens. And I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like a touring version, like a 570 GT.
Yeah, that wouldn't
and
happen.
it was pretty sick. That car was it was some. That's the first car I grabbed the keys to because it looked the most like a race car, and it was a race car with full blown like
It had, like,
Trofeo
Senna
Rs.
seats in it.
Senna seats, yeah. So like just paper thin carbon bucket seats, no adjustments, terrible on your back. It's the worst possible road trip car, but it was perfect for this trip. And even when ultimately the birthday boy, his LaFerrari ended up having an issue. That's the first car that he jumped in. He stayed in that car for a couple of days.
No, not even like a day and a half.
Yeah, but he like
Oh, are you talking about the McLaren? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
when he got in the
Sorry,
McLaren.
he had the LaFerrari for a day and a half.
yeah. So now here I am in Vegas with the cars. Everybody else is flying in. We're getting them shuttled from the airport to the hotel. Hey, good to see everybody. Met up, had dinner at Scarpetta for the night. It was terrific. We had a private room with like wine lockers in it and everything like that. It was very cool.
I remember now.
Then the next morning, we woke up. We had personal trainers in the morning for anyone who wanted it. That was like a good idea early in the trip, but as the days went on, the personal trainers were just like, "Hey, where is everybody?"
But it was only the 2 days in Vegas to start. And
3 days, yeah. It was Sunday, Monday, Tuesday mornings.
Well, I know Sam went to like 2 days.
Yeah.
So she was loyal.
Yep.
To that guy.
So the first day of the trip, we ended up doing go-karting. We went over to
Speed Vegas.
Nope, Speed Vegas in the afternoon. We went over to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway to Exotics Racing, and they've got the fastest go-karts in all of Las Vegas. And
How many other go-kart places are there?
There are a bunch.
Oh, I thought there was like one.
No. And those go-karts went, I think, 60 or 70 miles an hour. Yeah. So
It didn't look like that when you guys were on them.
no, those things full out, or maybe 50. If it's between 50 and 70, I don't remember what it was. And I know when you're 3 inches off the ground, you're boogieing.
Feels fast, yeah.
So that was something we had the go-karts for an hour, and they're like, "Oh, you guys want to take a break?" We're like, "No, keep going, pal." Like every time we did, probably 10 laps at a time. And then they started measuring our times and then giving us all pole positions, and we did 2 races at the end. So that was fun.
That was a warm up to Speed Vegas.
That was a warm up.
It was
getting it's a fun activity and getting everyone like
pumped to like drive and just be out there. Yeah. But Doug, I think, went a little too hard on the go-karts. I think he had a little soreness in his arms. And then to go drive on the track later at Speed Vegas.
Yeah, driving in the track, none of those were really...
I didn't feel like any exhaustion or anything from
no,
that.
I mean,
It was just
the
a couple
go-karts, it's an
laps.
hour, yeah. So it's like it wasn't an enduro for 6 hours.
No.
So we did that. The go-karts, we had a good time. I didn't hurt myself. I did all right. And then we went over to Black Tap, which is a burger place over at the Venetian with the gondoliers outside.
And amazing milkshakes.
Crazy milkshakes. That's what they're known for, is their crazy milkshakes. And I got a cookies and cream shake. You got a shake with a slice of cake on top of it.
Like a giant piece of cake on top.
It looked like something out of Willy Wonka.
It was awesome. Took a good picture.
Yep.
Donated the cake.
Yeah. She's like the guy from Jumanji who's allergic to cake, or her weakness is
cake.
Does that mean I like cake? Nope.
No.
Boom. So she did not go kablamo. She didn't eat the cake. And we went on and we moved over to Speed Vegas after lunch.
Yeah.
And we had the place to ourselves. Everybody had their choice of whatever cars they want. And we were supposed to do off-road driving too, but all the off-road trucks broke in the morning. And since it was like Sunday at that point in time, they didn't have the mechanic there. Mm-hmm. So
they had one.
They had the one trophy truck that they were doing ride and drives in. So they had people out there jumping in the trophy trucks. So we didn't get to do that.
Did you go in there?
I did not. There was only with the daylight hours, there was only so many people that could go in the truck, and I didn't want to press it. I was like, all right, we're good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was not interested.
I am. It's you before me. When I'm running a trip, it's everything is always the furthest away from me. So I'm the last guy to get in anything. I'm the first guy to get somewhere and the last guy to do it. So that's how you host an event.
Yeah.
But also a lot of the adventure drive stuff, I have to be there. So I have to participate. So if there's like a
What do you mean
limit,
you have to? Like you're like, oh, I have to do this, or do you want to?
no, a lot of it that I want to do that I don't do, but I have to
You have to like be there.
yeah, but I have to be there. Like especially if the guy's having me throw his birthday party, it's because he wants me to be there.
Oh, of course.
So for me to be like, no, you know what, I'm just gonna go to the gym. You guys go enjoy that. I can't. Like I could
No.
never go to these
not
things.
like you
and
would even sit out anyway on
yeah.
this.
Well, yeah, I mean it's fun.
Any of this, yeah. Who'd just be like, oh, you know what? Just gonna sit over here.
So it was the day one we did the track. We were lapping. I was looking at my video. Did you open your video yet?
Oh, I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't.
So my video was me chasing you around the track.
So my video is probably you nowhere in sight.
For the first 3 laps where I was not out there, yes.
Dang.
But yeah, so no, I mean it's we went out there, we did the track, you did the GT3 RS.
Oh,
it shows you what a spoiled group of people we are, because I mean we first off drove in a pretty nice collection of cars, which for some reason I neglected listing.
I was gonna say we just
That's
didn't
where
list
we
them.
were. We didn't
Yeah,
list
we had a 620R and everyone piled in.
Yeah,
and that was kind of it.
We
You know,
had a McLaren 620R. We had a 488 Coupe, a 488 Spider. We had 2 Huracan Evo coupes and a Mercedes-Benz AMG GTR. So those were the 6 cars that we initially went out with. And they were pretty awesome. They were colorful. They were awesome. They were fun.
it looked great. It looked awesome.
And it was a good collection of cars. And
Yeah.
regardless of using convertible tops or not, it wasn't really necessary.
No.
You have that, and then the birthday guy had his Bentley GTC and he was going to take his 458 Aperta Spider or whatever,
The
488 Pista Spider. But that also, the truck driver damaged it when he was loading it, hit the wheel well, so that one didn't come.
He had the R8.
He did have his R8 come later in the trip, but he also had his LaFerrari Aperta, which is that's a heavy car. That's like that's a $5+ million car.
Yeah.
So that's pretty sick. Now, fast forward, we're at the track. We go to lunch, and then on the way leaving lunch, the LaFerrari had a La Problem, and that's Italian for the problem.
I think we got that.
Yeah. And the inverter ended up kicking on the car, big cloud of smoke in the middle of the valet, and next thing you know, shut down, and that car was out for the trip. So we sent it over to the dealership, and the dealership was like, it's going to be 2 weeks for the part.
And you the entire time, they're going to turn around in a couple hours. We're going to get the car back tomorrow.
I talked to my dealership, and they said it's the batteries that go, and they've got them in stock, and they can swap them, and they'll be in and out in the same day. But this wasn't the battery. This was the inverter, which also ended up, it was out of warranty, but then there was a recall on it.
Oh, so then it was easy.
So the $40,000 inverter is also covered under a recall notice, so he doesn't have to pony up $40,000 for that, which, I mean, nobody wants to pony up $40,000.
No, of course not.
I just think the timing of that sucked.
That sucked, yeah.
Especially, it's like day one birthday trip.
Happy birthday!
Yeah, so he jumped in the McLaren from there and enjoyed that. But we're at the track. Trophy trucks broke except for one. So we all start lapping the track. Tiara was correct. She was into my sight and out of my sight, and I couldn't find her the rest of the day. She was
the rest of the week
much faster. Yeah, much faster than me. She evaded me the entire time. And I did watch my lap time in the Lambo, and this is what I was saying, that we're such a spoiled group of car people, is that nobody wanted to drive the Lambo.
We're like, no Lambo.
There's a Huracan there. They've got a rear-wheel drive Huracan and zero interest from anybody. So everybody's lining up for the GT3 RS, and they're like, and that's why I said I'm the last guy to go. And they're like, all right, what do you want to drive? I'm like, I don't know, what did everybody else drive? Everyone drove the Porsche. And I'm like, what about this? No, I have a Ferrari. What about the Lambo? Zero Lambo. I'm like, I'll drive the Lambo. So when you were out there, I jumped in the Lambo with the guy and chased you down the straight. Not that I knew you were out there at the time.
Yeah.
But I saw. I knew you were out there, but when we hit the straight, you just happened to come buzzing by. So the guy's like, all right, you can, and I'm like,
you can start to merge onto the track here.
Nope, I got it.
Yeah, he said that you and Doug were like straight out the gate, just gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's a racetrack.
I know.
Who goes onto the racetrack and be like, oh yeah, look at the flora and fauna.
Yeah,
over
but they
here.
probably have people at that track specifically that never drive on tracks because you're renting cars to drive on the track, you know?
We would have driven our own cars on the track had they let us, but it
Yeah.
was nice to drive theirs.
Yeah, of course.
And that part of it is that they were rental cars, and I did not want to go out with the rental cars and do anything like that because that's my business.
You have a rental
yeah, and
business.
I don't want anyone to do that to me. So I should actually talk to the rental guy because he had GPS. I'm like, how fast do we go? But we were out there. I did a 110 around the
110
track.
on the track?
Yeah,
In the Huracan?
in the Huracan.
I was much faster than that.
Yeah, you could have been.
Yeah. I think I saw one.
No, I'm talking lap time, not speed.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't look at my video. I have no idea.
My max speed was 151.
My max speed was 164, 165, I think I saw.
No.
What do you mean no?
No.
Yes, by the time I hit the cones, because I braked super late and I almost went straight through the back.
I'm not buying it.
Really? I'll pull up the video. I'll get the video. I'll show you.
I want to see 165 on that. We'll talk about this next time.
We'll talk.
What's the wager
No, because
on
I
that?
remember seeing 164, I think.
I'll give you 160. If you hit 160, what's the bet?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not good at this.
Well, you are. You just said you did 165. I give you a margin of error. I'm giving you points on this one. What's
I'm not good at like the bet part, but
the bet part? We're talking a solid $20.
$20. $22.
How about this? It's $10 for every mile an hour I'm off versus you're off. I'm saying you were at 145, and you're saying 160.
Don't think I was at 145.
That's what I'm saying. So if
really don't.
For every mile an hour above 145, I give you $10.
Is that what you said originally? 145?
No, I was at
not. You changed
151.
it. Hold
No,
on.
I was at 151. You said 165.
How was I? What? You don't think I went faster than you?
I don't think you went faster.
You were driving a Huracan.
Yep.
I was in quicker cars.
Okay. Well, you were in a car that goes quicker around the track. It doesn't accelerate faster.
I was in. Well, I also drove the Ferrari as well.
Okay.
Which it took a little bit for that one, but I don't know. I don't remember. I have to look at my videos.
So $10 per mile an hour above 145, I'll give you. Or you give me, whoever's closer, you give me $10 a mile an hour below 160.
$10 a mile an hour.
So if you go to your
160,
video and you were doing
and it's
130, you
under
owe me $200, $300.
I was not doing 130.
Well,
but
you get the bet though, right?
I understand
It's
now.
memorialized.
You're gonna have to write this down for me later, but I get it.
No, we just listen to the replay. So,
I don't
all
listen
right.
to this podcast.
That's a handshake bet.
We'll take a
and
look.
We'll let you know. I'm going to use whatever money I win on this and put a bottle right there in the center, and it's going to stay there for at least 10 podcasts. So we'll see. We'll know what our budget
We'll
is.
do like
for the
a money
bottle.
jar.
Yeah, we'll know what the budget is for the bottle once I win that bet. But I was doing 110 around the track was my lap time.
I have to look at mine.
Yeah,
now
well,
I'm curious
it gives
to
you.
see mine.
It'll tell you because it's got a race logic or something, whatever's a track timer, and it'll tell you what your fastest lap is. And I looked, there was 2 laps where I had to yield to traffic, and I don't recall
run any
if
traffic.
because you and I passed somebody. You and I passed the red GT3.
Did I? I remember. Oh yeah,
You
I did. I did when I
and
was in the Ferrari.
I was right behind you.
I couldn't see behind me because they took my rearview mirror.
Yeah, I know. I didn't pass you ever.
No, I know you didn't.
Well, you waved me by in your last lap, but I'm attributing that to them saying you're going to pit and he's not. So I'm assuming it was a cool down lap. But you're a good driver because I was not. And granted, you were on your 4th or 5th lap, and I was on my 1st and 2nd lap. But I did not catch you, and I was like, oh, she's doing a good line. She's going through. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit tough to drive on a track like that because they make it like a soft track. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah.
a little bit of a slippery track just so it makes you feel like you're going faster without going too fast.
Yeah.
So a lot of like late apex turns where you're like sort of sliding through the turn and they're like, all right, now coast here. Like
Yeah,
I like to accelerate.
They're
I
like,
like
coast
to brake.
through this, coast through that. And I was like, no, we're going through it. And
Yeah, I bet
Yeah.
you they chew up a lot of tires there.
I
Or they
mean-
should at least use like higher tread wear ratings so they get more life out of it.
yeah. He was the instructor that was in my car was a little bit impressed. He was like screaming. He was like, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, just like,
Got it.
oh my God. Like,
Nice.
It was kind of funny. It was like a little cheerleader in the passenger seat.
Yeah, it's good to have though. It's nice. It's confidence inspiring to have somebody
Yeah,
who knows
yeah.
the track in and out, does this day in and day out.
Yeah.
But the guy who had me also had Doug.
Oh,
And
yeah, so he's
Doug's
probably-
a track driver. So like, and I'm not a track driver. I'm like a 7 or 8/10ths driver. So, but having me and Doug, we're comfortable on the track. I'm not gonna set any lap records, but I've got no problem getting at it right out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy, like, he's expecting people like
Ease into
all right,
it.
where am I going here?
Where's the
and I'm just like,
turn?
I got this. Like, I see where the cones, I see the turn.
Yeah,
And
all the cones were like ridiculous.
Yeah, because they got 3 different colored cones.
Yeah,
they
they're like,
they
you see
talk about that.
blue cone. Yeah, I was like, what? What cone?
Yeah, they talk about it in the briefing, and like, who pays attention to the briefing? So the track was a great time. We enjoyed it. A bunch of people went for jumps in the trophy truck. We had a great time. Everybody drove what they wanted to drive. And then we headed back and we did Yellowtail. We did a sake tasting at Yellowtail, which was great. And the sake tasting.
He drank a lot of sake.
We did. We drank like $2,000 or $3,000 worth of sake.
Killed a lot of sake.
And we had just a great group size. Not only we had a great group size and a great group of people. Like there was such a different like variety of people, and I'm like happy with everybody that was there. It was like it was a super fun group.
Everybody got along super well with everyone.
Yeah, there was no like
you can
headbutting.
hang out with whoever, and it was great.
There was a handful of like jesters. That was like me, another guy Colt, and then James are probably like the 3.
Give yourself credit. Yes, they were the 3 funny ones. Okay,
We-
the rest of us were just there.
We were the funny guys entertaining everybody.
It was them just being clowns the entire time.
Yeah, you gotta step up your funny game.
I think I'm funny.
That's what unfunny people think.
What?
Tell us a joke.
I can't do a joke like on the spot. I think I'm witty.
Tell us a good story.
Pause. I think I'm witty enough to keep up with you guys.
You could throw some stuff back, but throw us a good story.
No, I can't do it right now. It's on the spot.
Okay.
It just has to be like, just
All right.
has to happen.
We're going to pay attention to the remainder of this podcast.
No, we're not.
She's going to
Just-
tell
just
something
listen to
witty
Rob.
and funny.
Listen to Rob talk about how funny he is the entire time and how he carried the team this week.
I know, my back is killing me. That's why I had to put the backs on these chairs because I've been carrying her on every podcast. So she's the one with the bad back, but I'm the one that carries her.
He carries a team.
So we had Yellowtail. We got a very cool cake. That was probably one of the cooler cakes I've ever seen.
Oh, it was awesome.
And
I guess, should I show a picture? Is that possible?
As long
We
as
could
the
just
picture is
talk
just
about
the
it.
cake. Do
I
you have
do
just
just
the
have
cake?
just
the
the
cake
cake.
was sick. So this guy has a lot of cars, so we did a cake, and the cake has all the different logos. He's got Koenigsegg, Pagani, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Porsche. We didn't do the boring cars. Like there's no Bentley logos on it, but we have like
No Bentley logo.
there's no Audi logos. Like
No, it's Lamborghini, Ferrari,
Lamborghini, Ferrari,
Koenigsegg.
Koenigsegg, Pagani.
Can I-
Show.
Let
Go
me
show.
I'm coming.
Drop the mic.
Oh, this is proving to be much harder than I thought. Can you see it? Oh, you can see it.
Oh yeah, money.
There we go. That's all I got.
So that was a pretty sick cake, and there was a little Enzo on the top of it.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So that
Was
was
the
nice.
Enzo edible? I couldn't.
I was, you know how much sake I drank? I have no idea what happened. Like, I think I ate the cake and I think it was delicious, but I don't remember anything. All I do remember is I didn't make it to the personal trainer in the morning.
Yeah, you and everybody else.
So we went from there the next morning. So that was a great day. Every day was a perfect combination of like just enough stuff that nobody's ever like, what am I going to do with my time right now? So nobody's ever bored, but nobody ever feels rushed.
Okay.
Did you feel rushed? You tell me as more of a participant.
Yes. So for some of the days, I think the time between activities and dinner was a little bit. If we had 30 extra minutes, I think it would have been perfect. But we also did run behind a couple days.
Well, I mean, when something goes wrong, we run behind, but we also drove fast. The only time we ended up rushing is that I forgot that Utah, Arizona
Oh,
thing
that was bad.
Yeah,
I was hangry.
The time crunch. Yeah, you were not a happy camper. We'll
I-
get to that.
Anyways, yes. So we can continue on with
So the
series of
next
events.
morning, we ended up doing kayaking, and we ended up kayaking down up the Colorado River towards Hoover Dam.
for like 2 miles. Keeping like 2 miles
2.2
there.
miles in each direction. So we did a 4.5 mile kayak.
And it was one way. It was brutal upstream, and where are you going? Oh, showing his his battle wounds from the kayak. So Rob is not an avid kayaker, so he got blisters on his thumbs.
First time kayaking.
I myself am an avid kayaker, because I'm from South Jersey.
Why wouldn't you possibly say, hey, friend, I've got some advice for you. Why don't you throw some Band-Aids on your thumbs? And I would be like, what you talking about? But I would have thrown some even if it made me look like an idiot, I would have trusted you enough to put Band-Aids on my thumbs.
I don't know. That's not something I've ever done either, though. This
is over a week ago.
I didn't think that would happen.
Think about that. It was over a week ago we did that.
Honestly, that's why I can't remember some of the things. It was so long ago, but it was so action-packed that so much stuff happened every day. I'm still like running it through my mind, trying to properly memorize everything.
Yeah, no, it's this is why cell phones are great too. So here we are. We did the kayaking. We went to a place called Emerald Cave, which looks really awesome online. And then you get there and it's like, this is the cave.
It's like a small carve out in the side of a mountain.
Yeah, it's like a little hole in the side of the mountain. But we had a great host. The guide was awesome.
It was funny.
I saw everybody. I'm like, that must be the cave over there. So I me and my kayaker who doesn't really kayak. He just sits in the back and pretends to slap the water and make me slower. Which is probably why my hands are all beat up.
You were carrying double weight.
I'm carrying two people, and that's the other funny guy, James, or one of the other funny people.
Yeah, he's really funny. He just didn't kayak.
And so I made it all the way over to the other side, and I'm like, oh, this must be the cave. And he's like, no, over here. So we go over there, and he's like, hey, I got a story to tell you. I'm like, we don't care about your story. Because, I guess the cave only fits so many kayaks, so it was letting other groups go through it before us. So it was distracting us and talking about nonsense. Like, everybody tells you the Hoover Dam story.
He was talking about the history of the Hoover Dam.
No, we don't. Do we seem like the type of group that cares about history?
Yes. You're not the type of person that cares.
Maybe I just don't care. But then we turn around and we have to, and that was like the worst part of it because like the wind was blowing against us and we're kayaking against the current. So like having to kayak back across one way, back across the other way, only to turn around and come back to the place that I thought we were going to, which was actually the place that we were going to, was annoying.
Yeah. I don't know why he just didn't let you stay.
Yeah, just like, oh, you guys chill right there. We'll be back in a minute. And then we would have FOMO. We'd be like, what are they doing? What are they talking about over there? And then
we'd like the Hoover Dam.
We'd paddle over there just to find out that they were talking about the Hoover Dam or something we didn't care about. So, yes. So, anyway, we did the kayaking. Then in the middle of nowhere, it's really hard to find good food. So we got a taco truck to drive 2 hours in each direction to make us tacos in a scenic overlook just outside of the kayak place.
That taco truck was good.
Those were pretty money. I got a quesadilla and it was delicious.
Oh, they declined me 2 orders of tacos.
So you got 6 tacos.
I got 6 tacos.
And then they're like, who wants more tacos? And you're like, I'm full.
What? No.
Yes. No. Who wants more tacos?
When I got 3, they said, who wants more? And I ran for more. Is that not what happened?
No, it's not what happened. You're
what do
like,
you mean?
they're only serving me 1 order.
Yes.
And then we went through all our people. They're like, we have extra orders. What do you want? What do you want? And you're like, you got 1 more order, but you refused to go back and get more after that when you said you could eat like 100 tacos. You did eat more than me.
6 tacos
all week
is good. That's what I wanted. I wanted 6 tacos to begin with, and they wouldn't. Anyways, I wanted just 6 tacos.
So we had tacos with a great view. That was a lot of fun. And then we went to drive all the way back to Vegas. We had to get to we actually got there early because when I lead a group, and I always tell people this, like I'm going to lead the group and we're going to get there well before what like Google Maps says, because I always look at it as a challenge. And we got back to Vegas 30 minutes before the early time that we had to get to the helicopters. So we went to the Las Vegas sign, did a quick selfie.
There's a long line for the Vegas sign.
So we did a selfie. We went over to the helicopter place, and then the helicopter place I knew was going to have us there 45 minutes before we had to be there. So we sat around the helicopter place, which it's good and bad. It's good that we got to like detox for a minute and take some Dramamine and all that stuff. But it sucks that when you do that, like everyone starts to like their bodies start to be like, oh, good, I get to like relax.
Yeah, everybody got tired.
You have to keep moving, because otherwise you get tired real quick. Mm-hmm. So. We took helicopters down into the Grand Canyon. We did Maverick helicopters, took them down into the base of the Grand Canyon, had some champagne, took some photos for about an hour, and then did a sunset chopper ride back over the Vegas Strip back to the heliport.
That was beautiful.
It was nice.
That was good.
And then we had 2 private choppers, and then we came back and ended up We ended up going to dinner then at STK, which is also at the Cosmo.
Remember everything like point for point, place for place.
That's me.
I can't. Like, I'm trying to think. I'm like, where do we go? Who do we see?
My brain remembers everything. So that's why when I say like there's like 2 rules, you're like, what are the rules? And I'm like, I know both the rules. I made them.
I don't know. I don't remember.
So so then we went to STK.
STK was good.
STK, we did a whiskey tasting, and this whiskey tasting, like, we started plowing through thousands of dollars. Like, every bottle of like the scotches was like $700 retail per bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, I had a lot of people like swiping on my story, like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Like, where can I get an invite?
Yeah, because that whiskey was good stuff.
That was good.
So we did
Japanese tasting.
Yeah, we did a Japanese tasting, an American tasting, and a Scotch tasting. And that was all very, very good stuff. Then we stayed a little bit late there. We were the last people out of the restaurant.
We had like a private party room, which was really nice.
Had a good time. From there, we woke up in the morning and went to, it was nice that it was in our hotel, so we didn't have to go very far. And that's why the trip, we broke up the hotels on the one side versus the other side of the strip, so we got to experience more than just like, oh, we're back here again. Mm-hmm. And it felt like that. It felt like we were in a different place when we got back.
Yeah, no, we were.
Yeah, we were a mile down the road.
Yeah, we're right across the street.
So we the next morning we woke up and we were driving down to Oatman, which is Oatman is Donkeyville. And so we did the personal trainers, whoever went. We did breakfast. And breakfast, the Cosmo is room service at the Cosmo, not
so
cheap.
Expensive.
Like, not cheap. It's like, if you ever ask somebody about a $50 oatmeal, it
was $60.
Yeah.
$60 oatmeal. Isn't that crazy?
And that's like, all right, oatmeal's $20 plus like service charge plus bullshit. Now you're at $60.
That's
for like an oatmeal and an orange juice to your room.
Yeah, that's it.
And it'll be there in 45 minutes. Like, it's oatmeal. You just add water. Like, what's taking so long?
Could have walked to CVS and put it in the microwave. And
I did that before
cents.
you guys got there. I was walking out to like the Aria for breakfast, or going over to the Vidara because it's like right down the road. And the place to go for breakfast at the Cosmo's Egg Slut.
Oh yeah, riddle us that. What's the fascination with that place?
I don't know. It's all right, but it's not worth.
The line was like an hour and a half.
Yeah, so we waited in line one day, got a bunch of egg sluts, and like, give us extras. And then, like, on our way out, we're just like, all right, we got extras. And we went to the line to wait on the line, and we saw these people like, yo, you want some free egg sluts? And they're like, yeah.
We had like 4 extra sandwiches.
Like a glitter bomb or something in there, but they made their day, probably saved them an hour. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, hopefully pay it forward.
It was good, but not worth the hour wait.
It's definitely not worth a wait like that. I mean, that's any standard sandwich
it was just like a regular
but
bacon.
The West Coast, I don't get like that good bacon, egg, and cheese that we get over here. So
no, it's not the same. It definitely isn't. Which I wish they had more places to eat, but it was just that place.
Yeah.
So
after Egg Slut, we drove down to Oatman. We took this highway out towards Laughlin, Nevada, which Laughlin's about, I want to say, 70 miles from Vegas. A couple of little casinos. We were driving, and this is my co-pilot over here, and we traded off driving all week. And she's a good driver, so I feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable in a car with very many people, but she's actually a really good driver.
Thank you.
I felt comfortable with her, and I was like, all right, let's get this road. I've been on this road before. Let's get at it. And the AMG, this is when we found out the AMG GTR had some sort of issue that above 160 miles an hour, the speedometer just goes haywire. And I want to count how long you were accelerating after you crossed 160. She was still probably full throttle for 10 to 15 seconds.
Yeah, like a little while. I was like, all right, let's see if something happens with the speedo. But
it went down to like 8, 9, 15.
It was like 13. I'm like, I'm doing 13 miles an hour. And even the revs were dropping to like 1, 3. I'm like, this is like insane.
So, I mean, I knew the car wasn't going to like over rev itself, but the fact that she was accelerating for 15 seconds after she crossed 160 pretty quickly probably put her up in the high 180s or 190s in the AMG GTR.
That car is amazing.
Yeah, she loves it.
I love that car.
I'm not the biggest fan, but she loves it.
I love that thing.
So we raged down that road for a little bit, got pulled over, then went to Oatman.
Are we going to talk about our pullover? Are you serious? You're just going to speed right over that?
That was why I was doing that. All right. So
yeah, then we went to Oatman and saw a donkey, and then that was it. We had a good day.
Tiara's going to tell you all about her first Nevada pullover over 100 miles an hour, and I'm going to leave my mic down here and have a drink.
That's my first pullover over 100 miles an hour. I've never got clocked for speeding. So we were cruising. It was me, the McLaren, and what was Jameson? The Evo? Yeah. And we were all coming up over the hill. This is after I was like flat out. And we let off coming up the hill. And just as we get over the hill, I see a Suburban just on the other side. He turns his lights on and I was like, oh, we're totally screwed. And I looked down. We were doing just a little over 100, just a little bit. And
I think what you said, and we thought we were clocked at 115, was the speed we were cruising at. And that's slowing down from what we were doing.
That was slowing.
But 115 was the cruising speed at the time when the cops saw us.
We were definitely going much faster. And I'm surprised that when he pulled us over, he was very, very angry. He pulled me over. He came right for me because I was trying to act like I wasn't doing anything. Then he stopped the Evo behind me and the McLaren. And then the rest of our group just cruised by us as they came up over the hill.
I mean, a few minutes later.
Like, we were boogieing.
The cop had already spoken to two of the cars by the time the rest of the group caught
up. And he said, I was shocked when he said that he clocked us at 110. He was very, very angry about this 110, though. And he said that he was going to take me to jail, take the other two drivers to jail, and impound the cars. And Rob, I don't know if this was in the video that you just posted.
Rob wasn't getting arrested because he was a passenger.
And Rob was innocent little Rob in the passenger seat. I don't know if the video that you just posted had that. No? Are you making a video?
I'll make a video.
Okay. Well, Rob has it all on video of innocent me and my face when he said that he was taking me to jail.
I love that. I had to take a screenshot of that and send it to her. It's like, he's like, and I'm taking you to jail and him to jail, and her face just like,
I was scared.
Straight up out of a cartoon, jaw dropped to the floor. And that was a good time. I enjoyed that. But
yeah, I didn't. I was scared.
But Rob to the rescue. I was able to.
It wasn't all Rob. Hey, wait, go ahead. No, come on in. Pick up the mic.
So Rob to the rescue. Rob says, wait a second, pal. Let's after he says, so what I'm going to do is I'm arresting you, I'm arresting him, and I'm arresting him. And I'm going to impound all three cars. And I was like, all right, let's talk about this for a second. She didn't know how fast she was going. She just said that because she was like, I was going 115. And I'm like, don't tell him that.
I didn't tell him that.
No, you told me that before we got pulled over.
Well, because I was telling you what I probably got clocked at.
Yeah, so I was like, don't tell him that.
I'm not going to go to him and be like, officer, I'm sorry I was doing 115.
Some people do that.
I would never.
And I said, don't incriminate yourself. Say
No,
you don't know how fast you were going. And I was able to
sort of... The speedo's broken over 160. I don't know.
Yeah. I was able to talk him down a little bit. I've done that with cops. I was like, yeah, I was doing like 180 a little while ago, but it was in a different state. So I talked him out of it. I'm like, look, she didn't know how fast she was going. There's no reference points out here because it's so long and so straight. Like, it's the best possible place in the world to drive fast. And we're driving fast cars. And it's this dude's birthday. We're having a good time. And didn't mean anything about it. And so that turned the arrests into all right, I'm going to give you guys tickets that you don't have to appear for, and you can pay online, but I'm just going to give you tickets. And then when I got a little deeper into the story time, he ended up, and I'm like, look, he's the first guy who got pulled over. He's like, that guy was an ass to me. And I'm like, well, it's all right, dude. He's the guy with all the money, so I'm sure his lawyers just tell him not to incriminate himself. He's a really nice guy. He's throwing this birthday party, invited all these friends out here, and the cop ended up, he's like, it's the best story I've ever heard. I didn't want to I don't want to ruin it. I'm just going to give you guys warnings.
I was like, warning!
So we went from you are all getting arrested except for me because I'm an angel.
Oh.
To
yeah, I should have given your YouTube channel.
Yeah, and well, luckily it's funny because we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
But I've got I'm the angel. I didn't have to give my ID or anything like that because I wasn't the driver. So
And I didn't even have my ID. Oh my gosh, I totally missed this.
Like completely missed the fact that she didn't have her license or her passport on.
I
her.
had
She just
no
jumps in the car and does 180
identification.
miles an hour with no ID.
Are you serious? Rob is the one the entire time we're going down this road. He's like, floor it, floor it, floor it. You're fine. Just floor it. I did 160 on this road steady for 30 minutes. This is all you kept saying in my ear. Like, just go, 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 go. And then I go.
Yeah, but
and I have
there's
nothing.
cops out there.
Oh, okay. You're supposed to be my spotter.
I didn't even see that guy until
I
I
saw him when we came right over the hill.
I
like,
wasn't
this is
even
a
looking.
cop.
I was just having fun. So,
Thanks.
I'm so used to just going
Some
out and blasting
co-pilot.
along and having fun. But yeah, I mean, she was doing great. I was more encouraging her to try to get to her top speed than anything. I guess that makes me a good wingman.
Right.
But
and the cop wasn't even that mad about like me not having my ID. To be
no,
honest.
that didn't bother him so much. But and we'll get to that later. But we ended up getting off with a warning, which was great. Not even like a written warning, just like never happened.
All right, see you later, and then we tear out of there.
And then after he pulled us over, I'm like, you know what? And after he let us off a warning, I'm like, yo, buddy, you mind if we get a photo? And dude was like, I'll take a photo with you guys. So we took an excellent selfie in front of the McLaren. I posted it up on my Instagram. And that was the story about when we got pulled over at 110 miles an hour and didn't get tickets and got a good photo with the cop. More on that later.
Yeah, we'll get back to that.
After that, we drove down to Oatman. Oatman is I want to say a tourist trap in the middle of nowhere.
It's cute. It's a cute little town. They have like donkeys running around, almost like super Western saloon style. Like, remember, I forget who said it, but they were like, "Oh, I'm expecting two cowboys to come out at high noon," and then they actually had like a show, like where they do
show
that
at noon. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's that kind of town, like in the middle of nowhere.
So, and they've got donkeys walking around. That's the thing. But also the roads in and the roads out. Although the surface isn't great, the roads are super fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, you guys were really ripping through the
no,
mountains.
you ripped through it on the way there. You got the dippity-doos and everything.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the little roller coaster.
The ups and downs.
A little scary in like lower cars, but
yeah, and I mean, because you don't know where you're going to bottom out and where you're not. And generally, you can see, you can assume that enough sports cars came through here that you would see the scrape marks. In the road,
or they just don't because they know.
Yeah, exactly. Or we just drive faster than them. Then when we leave, you and I sort of tore out in the AMG still, and then Birthday Boy in the McLaren right behind us picked up the first couple of rock chips on the McLaren. He was right up our ass and
through the mountains. But I got a good video.
That was fun. We got through that section significantly before everybody else.
Yeah, we were sitting on the side road for like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and then finally our group caught up.
But that's old Route 66, so that was nice. We then went to Kingman for lunch. We went to the Floyd and Company barbecue place in Kingman. Parked right there on the street. That went to Boot Barn.
It was freezing there.
It was.
We got out of the car and there was like a 20-degree temperature drop. I swear. It was
I don't recall that because I was so amped up.
It was freezing.
But from there, we then went in Kingman. We went and scooped up some cowboy hats, which it's probably one of my favorite cowboy hats I bought.
Yeah, it's good hats. We got some.
So she got a nice Stetson. I got a nice.
The whole group got hats.
Yeah, a bunch of us got hats. So it was a good time.
Had to fit in.
We're local. No, when you're out west, it's always like cowboy hats are really functional. So like I wish I could wear one all the time because like it solves a lot of problems.
Well, like, for you, yeah.
Like I mean, it's tough to sit in the car and wear one, but like it covers your face when it's sunny. It covers your like body when it's raining. It doesn't blow off in the wind.
I mean, mine took a run at Horseshoe Bend.
I know. I took a photo of that.
Do you really have a photo?
Several good photos of you guys chasing your hat in the parking lot. So again, we make the best out of everything. So
and you sent that to me. I didn't see it.
I got to edit the photos. Oh. But we went from there. We went from Kingman, and then we drove up to Sedona. And somebody didn't tell me. Like I looked at the weather forecast and all the places we were going, not assuming that the transit legs between places, like Flagstaff, was going to have like 2 inches of snow on the highway.
Blizzard.
It was just snowing.
All right.
Like,
It
but
was
like
hailing. It was snowing. It was
we got
sleeting.
hail, sleet. We got
was
snow. Yeah,
bad.
we got the wide range of a wide array of weather conditions.
The Trofeo, ours, we're not having that.
Well, I don't think any of the cars. Some of the cars were on Cup 2s. It was
Yeah.
just not a good
The AMG
cold
was
weather
almost
time.
like it getting a little slippery on me.
I was trying to take a rest my eyes in the car while you were doing that, but I was slightly nervous because you kept like checking your phone while you're driving,
What?
and that was a little disconcerting to a guy during a snowstorm.
Come on, it wasn't a snowstorm. It was just the.
But
Listen.
I did not. We were rocking out to some good music at that point in time because we just got our cowboy hats, so we started listening to a bunch of country songs.
Yeah, in the snow,
in the
listening
snow,
to country
in,
songs
in like the West,
in Arizona in a blizzard.
So we had a good time on our way into Sedona. Had a good dinner in Sedona at the hotel that night, very close. That Sedona hotel was stupid expensive, but really nice.
It was nice. It's very peaceful there.
It is. It's very tranquil.
Yeah, it's a very good. Like my aunt rages about that place. Like just all the crystals and the spirits and the energy and everything there is like.
They had a nice fireplace where I was staying, and it was cool to like sit. Like you and I were over in front of the fireplace, like, getting work
wood
done.
burning
She was on her
fireplace.
laptop. You hear the crackling of the wood. It was really nice. It was in the great Red Rocks there. We had a bunch of Red Rock for a couple of days there, and it was. I see the appeal of Sedona.
Yeah. I would visit it for like a day or two, but it's never somewhere that I would go and
Yeah.
stay. Like I would pass through, I feel like.
I would stay there for a day or two. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I'm not there.
Anything
longer
more? Forget about it.
So the next day in Sedona, we wake up and we end up going. We do breakfast and we go on an ATV ride for 4 hours through Sedona,
That was a long
and
time.
that was a good time. One of us is really good at navigating. The other one is just better looking than the other.
I
Which one do you want to
don't
be?
know who you're talking about.
So-
Are you serious?
What?
No, because we went the correct way at first. And you were lost. And I looked at the map and I said, there's supposed to be a trail right here. So me and Alyssa did a little loop. We're like, okay, we can't find the trail. Let's backtrack, go take a beeline up this trail to get on the trail that we need to be, which it was going the wrong way, but it was to get on the other trail to go the right way because we couldn't find the original trail. Then insert Rob.
Everything she said was correct. No, it was chasing her after I was trying to get your attention, but I went the wrong way. Going down our trail, I bobbed instead of weaved, and because it didn't look like you could get through where we were going, but that was the right way. We ended up having to like, hey, where are we going? And she's like, oh, follow me. We had 3 ways to do directions. One was like a actual map book, which who uses that?
I didn't use that. No, I used the GPS. Like
the other one was
iPad
a photo
almost.
book. Yeah, the photo book. Like they just took photos of all the turns, but like you can't show me a picture of a cactus. And
Yeah,
say like,
it was like a cactus, a piece of grass. Turn right here.
yeah, and
what?
I'm going along at 30 miles an hour. You're telling me to turn right at the cactus. So you've got that, and then like after we even lost that book. So when we got lost, we start looking at the iPad, and then we're like, oh, okay, here's the trail map, and then they're like, follow us, and it's not Alyssa and Tiara, and so we're going along, and she's like, follow us, and I'm like, nope, you're going in the wrong direction. So I'm
I
like,
knew I was going the wrong direction.
so I'm
though.
like honking and like I'm like, all right, maybe she just keeps going and she thinks I'm just like harassing them, but like because I'm right behind them and
I didn't
honking.
hear anything.
But they're also loud. So I was like, maybe I'll just stop, and when they look in their rear view, they won't see anyone. They'll turn around. No. So then I have to go accelerate, and that's when I learned how fast these things could go. Because I'm like, all right, let me turn it up to 11, and start chasing them down. And ultimately, I caught them, and I'm like, you guys are going the wrong way, and they got so pissed at me because they're like, we know what we're doing. I'm like, turn around and
Because
follow
we
us.
did.
But then we went backwards to where we were,
And then you
drove
found the
over my
trail.
trail book, but we went then the right way.
Yes, but then that's what I was trying to tell you when we were there in that little.
You went
was
the
like
wrong
the
way.
dead end. I was trying to tell you there's supposed to be a trail there, but we all missed it because it was just a little bit more to the left.
I
and we couldn't
noticed
see
that
it.
as we started to leave, and that's why I was like, wait, don't go anywhere. We're going to try this way first. And then,
And that was the right way.
that was ultimately the right way, but you ended up like making me chase you for 5 minutes or 8 minutes down the trail. So that being
The
said,
worst thing to happen to you, it's just riding ATVs through the desert
Yeah, no,
for longer than you wanted.
it was a good time. We actually got back earlier than we were supposed to. But we ended up going, finishing the trail, right, having a great time, going up some pretty steep inclines, some pretty steep downgrades, bumping along, and
Those were not fun.
driving because you have a bad back. But
I thought it was gonna be sand. I didn't think it was gonna be any rocks or anything.
no, it was like there was like rock climbing and everything. We had a great time in the ATVs. It was just I've never ATV'd before, so it was fun to like see what they were capable of. And I was going progressively faster as we went along. And then, like, we get to the end of it, and it's like, all right, now you got to make a left on the highway, and we're doing 70 down the highway in a bunch of ATVs.
I know. I can't believe it hit 70.
No, well, it could have gone faster.
It was revving
I still had,
really, really high, though.
Yeah, no, but I had like 3,000 or 4,000 RPM left. But I'm like, I'm not going fast.
I just
it
didn't
starts
like
to get a
that.
little
Yeah.
squirrely on these tires
On those-
over 70.
Yep.
So we rode back into Sedona. That was fun. Then we went back to the hotel and met up. We get changed over to some hiking gear because we were all
It was
covered in
back
dust.
to back, though.
And yeah, then we had lunch.
After that?
No, then we went to
No.
lunch. We went to the airport for lunch.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, we
Yeah.
had to change really quick.
Yeah, and then
to
some
go
people decided to
there.
go have like flights of margaritas for lunch.
It was not
and then go on a
margaritas. It was
Mimosas.
mimosas.
So they were pounding like 3 or 4 mimosas each, and then we went on a hike, which was cool. The hike was fun. It was very scenic. Red Rock. It was
It
enjoyable.
was easy.
It was easy.
It was like nice. It wasn't like incline.
it
It
was
was just
easy.
a walk, like a walk.
It was easy, but like we are also slightly more advanced in the way of hiking than most people. When you do a group hike, you have to make something that's not like going to kill everybody, and you're capable of doing much more than most people. So it was easy to her. One person had to turn around halfway and go back, but it was scenic. It was nice. You had to see the vortexes in Sedona, which are pretty big there. I don't believe in any
Which
of it. It's all
didn't
nonsense.
give me any energy. We stood in front of it. And I thought I was going to heal my back.
Did not heal anything. So we go back to the hotel from there. We went to dinner that night. We went to a steakhouse, which was really nice. We all drove.
That steakhouse was good, yeah.
So nobody really drank a lot that night. We went back and had a good time. Then the next morning we woke up and we were off again. We were going up to Horseshoe Bend. And Horseshoe Bend is just outside of Page, Arizona. This is where we got the majority of the rock chips. Because
Yeah.
you just hear them.
Oh, yeah. Just the cars were kicking them up
This
left
is
and
about
right.
3 hours north. It was a very windy day, but we got some good photos. We had a good time. Got to see Horseshoe
Super
Bend.
cold there. That's where my hat went flying.
Yep, and that's where our hat went flying in the parking lot. And we also found out about the time change between Utah and Arizona. And we knew something was up, but then we're like, oh, we have a hike, and everything was sandwiched in. But the hour that we had for lunch now disappeared because we were losing an hour going back into Utah.
I was very, very hangry, very upset.
Why don't you tell us about that?
What is there to tell? What can I possibly tell? Basically, I was just very hungry and I eat a lot. And when I get hungry, I get a little hangry and everyone makes fun of me for it. So Rob's like, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to skip lunch. And I started bugging out. I was like, we're absolutely not skipping lunch. I need to eat something. Like I have to have real food or else I'm going to die.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm just going to stay behind. I'm like, you're not staying behind. It's this
I
dude's
was
birthday trip. I go to the
angry.
boss, and when you go to the boss and the boss says, I want to hike, guess what we're doing? We're hiking.
But I just needed to eat.
But
how am I going to hike with no energy?
That's a you problem.
How am I going to hike with no energy?
You can that's anyone. It's like the Marine Corps. You want to ring that bell at any time, you ring that bell and you're out.
I wish we had a bell. No.
I'm giving you a bell because this guy. Thanks, right? It's my son over in the background playing. So like when you go out there, you have to you got to be part of the group. He wanted to go hike, so everyone, whether it was awesome or not,
hike. I did.
Whether it was awesome or not, we had to stick it out. We ended up going, raging over to Utah, and when we got to Utah, which I got a call. I'm like, where is everybody? Like I usually don't have to wait so long for everybody, and I was going fast because I'm like, we're gonna make up some serious
Well, this is when we
time
were
here.
booking it through the desert, right?
And I was going so fast that I pulled over to wait. And then one car finally came up. I'm like, oh, good. At least birthday guy's here. So the two of us will go. And then ultimately somebody called and they're like, hey, we got a problem. Lambo's on fire. So we were already a couple miles up. So we were like, all right, let's double back.
We whipped a crazy U.
We ripped a U and then just rage back. And by the time we got to the Lambo that was on fire, it was no longer on fire.
I was ready to come over the hill and see flames, like billowing smoke.
I was expecting
and,
a cloud of smoke in the
yeah,
air. And
I wanted some action. Like, where's this car that's on fire? Because everyone was freaking out. But we get back and it was, the fire was out. Some lady in a camper had actually stopped and said, "Oh, I saw you guys pass a little while ago. Love the cars. Here's a fire extinguisher. See you later."
Which sometimes you don't get, because like when we pass them, like we shake their car. 'Cause
Yeah, like
we're passing cars at like 100-mile-an-hour speed differential.
Yeah.
So
Which none of the cars had a fire extinguisher, I think, but later on we found out the McLaren
did have a fire extinguisher. But we
none
ended up
accessible.
abandoning that car on the side of the road, start raging down the road again. Me and the birthday guy are now trying to make up even more time because we had to double back. And it was like a challenge because they're like, "There's no way you're gonna make it." I'm like,
We actually did make it
I said, "I'm gonna make it."
by
And-
1 minute late.
And I would have made it even earlier than that had because it's the stupid hiking companies. Like, if you're not here by this time, then we're not going to be able to do the hike. We're just going to drive you around the park. We're like, no, we're not going to do that.
We don't even need
I'm like, we're coming for the hike. I'll get there. And it was like 2 hours and 25 minutes, but all desert. And I'm like, I'll get there in like an hour and 20. And this is probably the fastest I started driving because then I just turned it up. And when I did,
and I hit the ejecto-cedo.
ejected. Now you're a good passenger, so I'm
For
okay with
you,
that.
not for most people. I'm a
I've proven my worth.
awful passenger. You're fine, except when you were raging a little bit. I was like, all right, what's the rush? Like, why are we rushing?
Where are we going?
Why are we rushing?
So, well, I usually have to wait for people behind me, but I was like, as long as me and like birthday guy get there, like I've done my job.
Yeah.
So I start raging, and like eventually, I don't have a radar detector because I just don't like them.
He has one.
And he had one, so he gets on the radio and yells KA. And when I hear that, I just full threshold braking, like
the whole
like
car
snow plowing the car. The back end is getting twitchy. I don't know how fast I was going, but much faster than he clocked me at. Clocked us at 108, turned his lights on, instantly goes to turn around. And then the birthday guy starts slowing down, like so he could pull us both from. I'm like, dude, get out of here.
I got on the radio. I'm like, go, go, go. Like,
I'm like, dude, don't stop. Like one person at a time. Like, don't give him the freebie.
yeah, no.
And
He just cruises by.
so then he came to a stop, but then he like rolled by himself. Cop was pretty cool. Not as cool as the other cop.
No, yeah.
But he
Nice
wrote
about
us,
it.
Nice about it. Wrote us a ticket for 108, which is what he got us at, like when he zapped us. And
You proceed to tell him that I got clocked much faster.
I did that. I was like, well, she just got clocked at 110. So I was hoping he at least, maybe, would you mind writing me for 111 just so I can hold something over her head? And ultimately, it didn't work out that way. I got the 108 ticket. She got off because she got nothing, and I got a ticket. So I got the only ticket of the trip.
Yeah, and even Nadia got pulled over, doing
Yeah,
2 miles over the speed limit.
Yeah, that was nonsense. Nadia got pulled over, and it was like a minor ticket.
I thought she didn't get a ticket.
No, it would have been a minor ticket if she got it, but
yeah,
he just let her go.
Yeah, because he was like talking about the car and just
Yeah.
you know.
So that was fun. I got pulled over. I was like, all right, now that I got pulled over, and I was pulled over like 14 minutes. I'm like, now I got to beat everybody because they passed me. Everybody ultimately passed me. I'm like, I'm going to beat them to Zion because that's where we were headed. And I beat most of them to Zion because I started raging again.
Beat the McLaren.
I beat the McLaren. I beat the Bentley. I beat the Lambo.
I think
and I beat the yellow
everyone
Ferrari.
always beat the Bentley.
Yeah.
And the yellow Ferrari.
And the yellow Ferrari. And I like the three of them that beat me there literally were getting out of their cars when I pulled up.
Yeah.
So I did good. I made up another 15 minutes on a bunch of cars that were driving fast, which is not easy to do in an hour. But
Yeah.
I drove when I hit Zion, and I did turn it up a little bit. And I also had to like wait at the gate to like deal with the idiots at Zion that was like, all right, I want to pay for like the 3 cars behind me, but she just couldn't comprehend that.
She said they don't take cash. She can't do that. They can only process on one card.
Yeah, so like I had to give her like 3 different credit cards because I can only process. Like it was just like a 5-minute. Like I would have beat them had I not had to deal with that nonsense. But I was being a good host.
Yeah.
So
Doing what you were there to do.
I was doing what
Pull
I
out
was
the
there to do. But
credit
it's
card.
also at a certain point in time I got to win. So we got to Zion. The tour guy calls me, and we're there. So we were in good shape. We didn't get to do the hike that we wanted, but we went and did a nice hike in Zion.
We did our own hike.
We did a hike with this guy. So this is actually pretty funny because this guy's hiking and they start passing back the. Here's a piece of. I thought the guy picked up this piece.
It was
of
like
clay.
historical.
It's like this is a 2,000-year-old piece of like pottery with you could see the fingernail prints in the back where they made it. I'm like, oh great.
And Rob's like, "Anybody want this?
Like,
Anybody?" And he
pass
threw
back.
it.
And then I'm like, I didn't want to see this. And by the time we get to the back of the group, nobody cares. I'm like, all right, whatever. And threw it back on the ground, thinking he picked it up off the ground. I'm like, just ask that dude if he wants that thing back. And they're like, yeah, he wants it back. I'm like, oh, I just tossed it. So,
He's like, wait, is that his or did he just find that? They're like, that's his. And everyone's like screaming. So Rob had to run back.
I had to run back and pick it up off the ground, but he thought I like threw it over the
Our
cliff.
tour guide his eyes were so wide and he looked like he was going to cry. He was very upset.
So then the guy from there was like, I'm just going to walk in the back and you guys, like, I'll go at your pace. So like we start walking ahead and like we hike at a pretty decent pace and we go down to where we're supposed to go. And he's like, yeah, this trail's self-explanatory, except not. Because
Except when you hit every turn and every Y in it. We're hiking this trail and it was 4 of us. It was myself, Rob, Colt, and Doug. And we decided to basically go where we thought we were supposed to. And we took a few turns and ultimately, I don't want to say we got lost. We ended up losing our group and we thought we heard them. So we doubled back, went up like all these stairs and still didn't come across our group. We went all the way to the top and back down again by ourselves. No tour guide, no people. And we were like, I wonder if they're looking for us. And Rob's like, they're definitely not looking for us. And we beat them back to the shuttle, which was at the entrance of not the track, the trail there. And when they got in the car, none of them seemed to have any concern. Not a single soul.
So we walked very fast and we got lost and we're like,
we took a few pictures.
Where did they go? And like they never came. So we're like, oh, we must have gone the wrong way because we went to the one fork in the path. And we ended up doubling back and didn't see them up on the upper path.
Top,
so then we're
around.
like, all right, they must have just kept walking out. So we kept walking. We're like, hey, you guys see a group of like 10 people?
Oh, yeah, we did ask.
And they're like, no. We're like, all right, well, we're just going to keep walking this way until we find our hotel again. So
we're like, tell them if you see a group of like 10 people, tell them we went this way,
Yeah.
which those people did run into them later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was good. So anyway, Zion was fun. We went to the brew pub that night. I had some beer.
That's fun.
It's fun. Like I like to mix it up because it's tough because otherwise you're eating in a steakhouse every night. Mm-hmm. So it was nice to mix it up.
That place had weird rules though.
Utah has weird liquor rules. It's Mormon, so it's
I couldn't
weird.
bring my beer into the restaurant.
Yeah, and
I
we were at
purchased it at the bar.
and we couldn't. Well, you can either drink at the bar or you can drink in the restaurant. You can't. Like,
I can't
walk.
transfer the drink. It was just illegal.
Yeah, it's
totally
like you
illegal.
got to drink your beer before you go over there. I was like, all right.
I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna leave this here, $6.
Yeah. So and
it was good. It was.
We
all
played some
local
cornhole.
brews.
It was a local brew pub in Zion. The scenery there was unreal.
Yeah.
Zion, very
nice.
scenic Red Rock. I mean, and we saw a lot of Red Rock, so it was a good time. From there, Zion. Now we're working our way back to Vegas the next day. And next morning we woke up, ate at Cafe Salil, which is actually the parking lot where Rob Dom got my NSX broadsided by a parked car.
Nice.
So we had that going. From there we drove out past St. George, Utah through Hurricane and made our way pretty quickly back to Lake Las Vegas.
We did get there very, very fast.
Yeah.
It was much quicker than I thought.
Yeah, we stopped, got gas, we switched driving. This is where we were driving the McLaren, which I couldn't top out. I was trying to. I was just not enough road. We switched driving, and you ended up taking us on that last little stretch and bringing us into Lake Las Vegas, where we ended up jumping on a yacht for lunch.
It's pretty nice. Lake Las Vegas is smaller than I thought.
Lake Las Vegas is like a big pond. And so we're on this yacht.
Pond Las Vegas.
Like going in circles. And
I was like, oh, wait, we're turning around again?
yeah, but we had a private chef. We had a full bar. We had some good drinks.
Nice. It was nice.
Did some shots of water because
because we're
driving.
all driving.
Yeah, so we had a good time. Nice lunch, scenic. And then after an hour and a half, we left and went. This is where we swapped back cars to the other ones. So
we refreshed our fleet.
Yeah, so they replaced the one that we lost, so the one Evo that caught fire. They took the McLaren. They took the
488.
488, and they took the Lambo.
The other
the one
Evo.
Evo. and they gave us back the
Aventador.
Aventador, an NSX, an R8,
And a McLaren.
and a McLaren. What was it?
720S.
720S.
No, wait. They were supposed to give us a 720S.
Yeah, they gave us 650
but they
or
gave us
675.
No, it was a 650.
650S.
Yeah, it wasn't 675.
Yeah. So again, a nice, colorful group of cars though. Looked really, really hot in pictures. Drove those back to the Strip where we were staying, and we were staying at the Encore now.
Or the Win.
The Win, yep. The Encore and the Win, sister properties there. And we ended up getting massages. We got 80-minute massages at the Encore Spa.
That was so nice.
Which was really nice, except for the fact that the amenities were all closed. So we're all there with our bathing suits and like, sorry.
No sauna, no, nothing.
But you walk past them, those pools, it's a phenomenal place.
It looked so good.
So
It's so weird that they can offer massages, but you can't go in a sauna or a pool inside.
but then you can go to the swimming pool.
So yeah, but you can go outside to the swimming pool. But somebody can massage you, and that's
Yeah, but did
safe.
they make you wear your mask or no?
They did. I didn't really like.
I didn't. I put it on.
Yeah, like I couldn't breathe in that. Like, she's like, you can wear your mask, and I'll keep it on. And I'm like,
No, she told me I had to wear my mask.
oh,
Yeah.
my lady was nice.
So we got 80-minute massages, and then we did dinner at Red 8 that night. Actually, no. You know what? Wow.
Wait.
My first
What are
skip,
you doing?
my first memory loss.
Hold on.
Birthday boy, we got him a suite there.
Mm-hmm.
And we did a full-blown, there's a place called the Whiskey Attic. And we did, I'm like, hey, I know you guys do these whiskey classes, but how about you come do them on the road?
Yeah,
And this
just
dude,
like a tasting even.
Yeah, this dude brought like 10 different whiskeys and scotches, including a French one, which I didn't even know existed.
That one was good.
I really
that was
liked it.
phenomenal.
And we had a great time. We did it in his suite. We had this whiskey tasting, and
We painted his car.
and we painted the photo that I took of one of his cars on one of the Adventure Drives trips. We ended up painting, and we all painted a portion of it. So there was 8 squares.
big
We
blown up
partnered
portion
up,
of it.
and we painted this, and we made him a very cool piece of artwork to hang in
was
one
awesome.
of his houses. And that's pimp. I was very happy with that.
I painted, and Rob brought me whiskey.
You tend to, like in life, you try to do what you're good at, and providing whiskey is something I'm really good at. Painting, not so much. And she's actually really good at painting, and she sucks at getting whiskey.
Oh,
So
all right.
so we complimented each other very well. And then after the whiskey tasting, and you know who showed up to the whiskey tasting?
Oh, D-Dice.
D-Dice. So the guy who pulled us over in the first time at 110, who was going to take her to jail, ended up looking up one of the guys on social media, reached out, but he didn't have my information, so he didn't find me. But the Asian guy, James Chen, we were with, he looked him up, found out they had like a mutual friend. And so we started FaceTiming him from dinner in Sedona.
Oh, yeah. The previous night we were on FaceTime with him.
And we invited them over to join us for when we got back to Vegas. Ended up coming over, so now we're just drinking whiskey with him. He came to dinner with us, and then we were
great.
gambling afterwards. It was a good time. It was
So
a good, great,
interesting.
Great conclusion to that story.
He was a good guy. He's a
great guy. Like, it was awesome. And I'm
Yeah.
like, be honest, were you really going to arrest him? He's like, no.
Well, why did he act like he was?
He didn't act like he
it was
was.
the
He
choice of
stated
words.
that he was.
literally said, "I'm taking you to jail." Not, "I can take you to jail." He
No,
said, "I'm taking
his
her
choice
to jail."
of words, I'm taking her to jail, I'm taking him to jail, I'm taking him to jail.
Like he said, "I am," not
But I think
could.
he just wants somebody to like quavel. Please don't
I was.
say, please.
Well, he should have seen my face.
Yeah,
He should have seen my face.
I saw your face, and your face was just like.
They can't see your face.
No, they can see the face if you watch this on YouTube. But so that worked out well, and that was a great end to that story. The next day, it started getting wild because the next day we went and did some cowboy stuff down in Yeehaw. We went to Sun Valley, California, which is.
You waiting for me to say something, or you?
I was waiting for you to say something, but like middle of nowhere.
Which is in Yeehaw country.
Yeehaw, like it's just down yonder, past
Over the dirt hill.
Yeah, past.
Make a left at the cactus.
Past Middle Earth and make a left, and you find it's just outside. It's like an hour outside of Vegas, but it is
Seemed
really
like it was
remote.
nowhere.
So we went out there. We had lunch there, which was actually really good food.
It was so good.
So they only had
So
7
good.
horses, so half of us stayed behind and half of us went with the horses.
The half of us that stayed behind, we ended up
Yeah, shooting BB guns,
And
throwing
destroying your car.
axes. Yeah, throwing axes, throwing horseshoes, and then starting to have at my Mercedes because that was like something we brought to take care of. Because the guy's
Get the
birthday, he
job
wanted to
done.
destroy my Mercedes. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Like, knock yourself out. So we shipped it out there, which cost more than the actual vehicle purchase, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
thank God you don't have to ship it back.
Yeah, no, we don't. We don't. That's actually going to come to a
taken
head. We'll
care
talk
of.
about that
Yeah.
next podcast when we find out what goes on with it. And then from there, we went to the Gunship Helicopter Company, which was 15 minutes away from there, and up a big gravel road. Went there and ended up shooting like full auto out of a
cal.
helicopter, shooting a Barrett 50, and birthday guy got to rip a round out of a tank.
That was awesome.
Like out of an Abrams tank or a T-50. It was
A
like
tank is a ridiculous feeling. Like standing next to it.
the percussion from the 105 millimeter round was
It's ridiculous.
it gets you moving.
Like my soul was shaken.
You have no soul.
What? It was shaken.
That's how you know you have one. So we had a good time with that. So he ripped the tank, and then we're like, "Oh, you really care?" Like when I asked them, I wanted to blow up the car. They wanted to like charge us like $6,000 to like take the engine out and the trans and like put explosives
that's
in it.
just,
And I'm
like,
like, that
by the
defeats the
book,
purpose.
you know?
I'm like, we just want to shoot the thing. I've shot so many cars
You're like,
before.
it's here. It's covered in spray
So
paint.
when
you
we
know.
were there, we're like,
got an
all right,
axe in the back
yeah,
of it.
we were like beating it up a little bit. Like, can we just shoot the car? He's like, yeah, whatever. So then he unloaded a round out of an M4, 60 rounds out of an M4. I shot 60 rounds out of an M4.
10 rounds out of the Barrett.
And then 10 rounds out of the Barrett 50 at like 50 yards.
Oh my God.
And beat that car up pretty good. And then drove it off
And it had
into the sunset.
We put all the spray paint cans on top of it and they caught fire.
The
And
one
I
caught
thought the car actually caught fire.
No, I knew the car. There's nothing to catch fire on the top of the car. I knew it was the
It's
aerosol cans.
German engineering. You never know. I mean, we already
Das
had an
Car?
issue.
No.
I didn't think a brand new 2021 Evo was going to catch fire either. So a Mercedes getting unloaded on was probably a good contender for a fire.
No, but our goal was to
Drive
was
it.
to shoot through the door and then drive. Somebody had to drive it back to Vegas.
Which that's somebody.
That somebody happened to be Tiara.
Me.
Yeah, because she was the something. I forget what the rationale behind it was, but you were the one driving it.
Yeah. And
Many people said what?
that
That it should have been you.
yeah, everyone agreed.
Everyone agreed. Many people were like, yeah, it should be her.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just because you're young, so we were picking on you. But she was the one that was going to drive it back. Luckily, the 50 cal rounds went through the door handle on the front driver's side door.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They said to shoot the door handles off,
And I
had to squeeze through the window.
my spray, like there was a guy like pushing on my back while I'm shooting. I'm like, you don't have to push on my back, dude. I can.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to spray the sky. Like I'm okay with it. So he kept pushing on my back, and it was pushing my rounds. Like I was trying to go through the doors, and it ended up pushing some of my rounds below the back right door, and I popped one of the tires. I'm like,
You
well,
popped
that
two.
sucks.
It went straight. It had to go straight through that tire and right through the other.
It's something.
Like, then how-
No, the other tire was good until the 50 cal. So one of the 50 cal rounds went through the other side.
Yeah, like because two tires.
Yeah.
One tire got shot. The other tire was pissing
Yeah.
air.
So that car ended up having to stay there. I still drove it off. It started up and I drove it off, which was key. And ideally, we were going to make her drive it to Top Golf that night with the bullet holes in the
Put
side
in
and everything.
valet.
It would have been awesome.
Park her up front, not a scratch on her.
Legitimately, like, yeah, just like take care of this one, all right? Like, give them $50 to keep it right out front or whatever it is. Like, because they'll park anything as long as you pay them.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, here's $100. Park this one right over there. And they would keep it out front of the casino. That would have been really nice. Didn't end up happening. But that was sort of the end of our night. We went back to return the rental cars, jumped over, showered, went to Top Golf. After Top Golf, came back, went to the SW Steakhouse at the Wynn, and that was a great meal. After that, we went. The guy bought a nice property in Vegas. We went and visited that, checked that piece of land out, where
beautiful
he's going to
view.
build. Great view. And then we headed back to the hotel, and some of us went gambling, and some of us went back and went to sleep.
It's just a long week.
It was
in
a long
general.
week. It was a long week. And then the next morning, a couple of us went to breakfast, and it was wheels up. We were out of there. So that was the probably the most epic birthday week.
It was
Like
so
I feel like
action-packed.
singing "Happy Birthday" to somebody tonight. I just think it's got to happen. But it was a great time. I hope he does this again because it was epic. I think he had a great time. He seemed to be having a great time.
Yeah, for sure. He had a blast. Like he was so happy. How can you not be happy?
I mean,
on something like that. Like, how do you top that next year?
You know what? It's partly it's the people that were there that made it awesome, but also what we did. Like every day was awesome.
It was a good group too.
And that's why I was saying at the beginning of the podcast, I could not imagine a better birthday.
Yeah.
Like I could not imagine, like, what can you do that tops that? Like we did helicopters twice. We were shooting out of the side of a helicopter, like shooting a tank. Like, I mean, you name it, we did it this week. There was so much like activity.
So many people
in
messaging
so many
me
cool
like
places.
Like, your life is a movie. They're like, I can't believe you're doing this. Like, is this real? Like, this is all real. This is happening.
Yeah. So it was quite epic. So we had a great time. We'll tell you next week what ends up happening with my car because we left the car there and I posted it on my Instagram if anyone wants it. And I have a couple of people said they were going to go
Up
claim
for
it.
grabs.
So we'll see what happens. We'll update you on that. If you want to follow the exploits and the life of Tiara Brianna, it's tiara.brianna at Instagram. And that's her platform. Me, you know already, Rob Ferretti on Instagram, and then Super Speeders Rob on YouTube. Thank you guys for watching. I hope we kept you company while you were driving, while you were trying to sleep, helping you sleep, whatever the case may be.
Means we're boring.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. Like if it's just those velvety pipes, Rob Ferretti helping me sleep.
They're here for you.
5 seconds at a time.
Anyways, I gotta go.
Then we're good. And if not, we'll catch you next time. We appreciate you listening, and we'll see you then.
Bye.